And if people come join, that is fine, but welcome. This is our session on virtual APPreneurships. We like a cheesy pun, so we had to go with it. But this is basically us explaining how we run our internship program and how we have done this for years. I am Alexandra Cummernes. I am the Curriculum and Implementation Specialist for MadLearn. And I am here with Doreen Frempong Ba, who is our Director of Internships. So she is going to be explaining the majority of how we run this program and how you all can connect with other people in your community to start something similar. So first thing I want to do is I just want you all to look at this list and see if you can figure out what these people have in common. And if you want to put it in the chat, go ahead and type that in the chat. I will say that I did this with a group of high school students recently, and it took them a minute to figure it out. They probably did do internships at some point. Any other guesses? Business owners, yes, actually. So you're on the right track there. So everybody on this list is or was an entrepreneur, which is one of the biggest skills we're trying to build in students, which is something that they learn about and learn like global skills from internships. So I wanted to show this. They probably did all do internships, but all of these people were entrepreneurs who were out getting real world experience, while the rest of us were sitting in school or in a classroom. So the reason we're talking about that and the reason I wanted to show you that list is because entrepreneurial skills translate to what we call soft skills nowadays, but really what we call it in our company is the vital and transferable skills that every student needs to be successful in the working world. So there's a lot of companies that are now saying they'd rather have a student's life skills built up more than even like the technical skills. So they want things like, leadership skills and conflict resolution and problem solving and communication. Those are the types of skills that companies are actually looking for in job recruits at the moment. Again, 92% of executives surveyed said problem solving and communication. Think about how much we use this in a regular, everyday, in every job I've ever been in. If you cannot communicate well and you're not good with people and complex problem solving, those are the skills that our students need. And those are the kinds of skills they build, not necessarily in a classroom, but through an how we have built this program. And just to give some background about our company, so MadLearn, MAD stands for Mobile App Development. We are an ed tech company. Basically, we teach students how to create their own apps, and they do that going through the 6-step design thinking process. Teachers don't have to know how to code. Students don't have to know how to code, but we do have coding options. It's really scaffolded, user-friendly, but we are a tech company, but we've had interns from every background you can think of, even though we are a tech company. And we're a global company, which is also really a different perspective for students because they get to interact with people from all over the world. I happen to be in Atlanta, Georgia. Doreen is calling in right now. She's on this meeting from Ghana. We have team members in India. We've got team members in other parts of the US. So we have people from everywhere, but we still connect consistently and frequently because we're a global team and because everything we do is virtual. So that's just a little bit of background about who we are. I also wanted to show you all a video of some of our former interns, and they're just going to talk about their experience and what that's been like. And I'm going to attempt to play this without messing this up. So let's see if I can get this. I'm going to stop the video there because we're actually going to show some of the student work examples and what students like Ceylana have actually created. We have some examples of what she did and how she didn't think she might fit into a tech company for an internship and ended up, as you'll see, creating a lot of stuff on our platform. So I'm going to turn it over to Doreen, our director of internships, and let her take it from here.
Thank you, Alexandra. I hope you can all hear me. It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm so glad that you could all join us today. So I'm just going to give you a little background about how and why we started this internship.
Doreen, I'm sorry. I'm just going to stop you for 1 second. I'm so sorry. We tested the video. So apparently they couldn't hear the video sound. Were you all able to hear anything? I'm so sorry. We are sending, you'll have access to this presentation at the end where you can actually hear it. We tested it about 10 different times before we started, and apparently it still didn't work. I apologize that we just showed that for like 3 minutes and you couldn't hear a thing. But you can watch it. We have a QR code where you can scan these slides so you can actually see it on your own. So I apologize for that. Doreen, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No problem, that's fine. So like I was saying, we started this internship program, like Alexandra mentioned, to give students the opportunity to experience real world work and what it feels like to work in a global team. Like my colleague mentioned earlier, we're a global team. We have team members in Accra, Ghana. We have team members in India, in all over many parts of the United States. And so we wanted to give students that experience, and we wanted to let them know what it feels like to do real work. So they are not doing any mundane things when they are interning with us. And we started this internship program years ago, even before COVID. So we had the vision to, give students the opportunity to have the experience of working in real life and what that would mean in the real life, in the real working space. And so you ask yourself, why are internships important? So, you can gain all kinds of skills just by interning and growing in a team, in an active team. And so you sharpen your skills, you get to work and relate with other team members, you get to collaborate on different kinds of work. And so that's what we aim at doing by this internship program. Next slide, please. And what are the goals for our internship program? So we want to increase accessibility. Like we mentioned, we have team members who have joined us, interns who have worked with us from all over the world. Because it's virtual, you can join us no matter where you are. All you need is good internet and a computer to work with us. And so we've had team members work with us from different locations around the world, from Canada to different countries in Africa to the United States. And the great thing about that is that the students are able to share different cultures as they work with us in a global team. They also get to do real life, real world collaborations. Like I mentioned earlier, we've had students work together. So you'd have, for example, a student in Ghana working with another student on a project in Canada or in the United States, and they learn from each other that way. They also sharpen their skills. So we've had students grow. I had students who joined the team who were very shy, but through joining our team meetings and giving reports just like we do, they've learned to grow their skills, and they have really sharpened their skills in that regard, and in many regards as well. Students will join our team with the thoughts that they'll only be able to do things, things that have to do with their interests, but then realize that they join the team and then there are other things that they pick up while they are on the team. So it sharpens their skills. And then networking, which is very important. We've had students come back after internships to ask us for, to help them with their cover letters, to be referees for them and things like that. And so as they join the team and intern with us, they also get to network with team members, because students are connected to senior members of the team who become their mentors throughout their internship program with us. And so these are some of the goals of our internship program. I think Alexandra got kicked off somehow. I don't know what happened, but hopefully she'll be able to join us again soon. But like I mentioned, there's so many things that students pick up once they're on. I'm sorry, give me a second. Let me just make sure Alexandra is okay. She got kicked. I'm sure her internet was acting up, but I hope you can hear me. So the structure of our internship, the way our internship works, our internship program works is that you apply for the internship with us, and then we schedule an interview with you, with the students. So the students apply, we schedule an interview. Once we interview them and we realize that their interests align with the projects that we have on our team, we offer them the internship and they start to intern with us. I'm sure you'll be wondering how a virtual internship works. So what we do is that once a student joins our team, we create a portfolio for them online. So all the projects they work on are online. So we create a portfolio for students, and in that portfolio, they have both their plan of action, so they know what they are doing each week. And they also, apart from what they're doing each week, they also have a folder where they put in all the kinds of projects they work on. Thank you, Alexandra.
It's the perfect day to have tech issues, of course, in the middle of a presentation. That's what I was going for. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. So here are some.
Tell me where you were, Doreen. I'm sorry. I'm sharing the slides for you.
So this is what I was talking about. I was talking about the structure of our internship program. So like I mentioned earlier, interns are assigned tasks according to their interests. So based on your interests, we look for projects on the team that align with students' interests, and then we assign those tasks to them. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we also assign mentors on the team, on our team, to students as well. So students have mentors who guide them throughout the internship program with us. The program is also very flexible. And so we work based on the availability of each student. So you tell us how many hours you're available to work with us, and then we create your projects around your availability. All tasks are also recorded. Like I said, all tasks are recorded in a folder called the portfolio. So we've had teachers who have been curious about what their students have been working on, kinds of projects their students work on with us. They're able to go into these portfolios, these student folders, to see the kinds of work their students are doing with us at Mathern. And then also, like I mentioned earlier, students also give reports just like we do. So each week, team members of the team give reports on what we're working on and what we worked on in previous weeks. Students do the same thing. So we don't really treat our interns as interns. They actually are team members once they join the team, and they do what we do. So they give reports just like we do. Okay, so this is our internship application form, and this internship it happens on a rolling basis, and so students apply for the internship, like I mentioned, and then we pick based on when we need interns, or we have open spaces for interns. So you can go ahead and scan this QR code and share with your students so they apply to intern with us.
And you can also just see the structure of our application and the kinds of questions we ask.
Yeah.
So if you are working with another company or someone in the community or a business, you can show them something similar and see if they're interested in this kind of process. It's not overly in depth, but they do have to answer some, genuine questions like they would in a regular interview or application.
Right. And so here are we want to show you examples of some of the work that students have done with us. And they've done, I always commend my interns because these students do amazing work. And we've had students from middle schoolers to high schoolers, all grades of students who have worked with us, and all kinds of interests that they have. We've had students who have been interested in art, who have designed posters for us. For example, this student was interested in graphic design, and so they worked on projects like posters for social media. These are some of the posts that they worked on to welcome the summer interns. This past summer. This was done by these welcome posters for social media were designed by an intern. We also have on the left, we have a Mad cookbook. So at Mad Learn, we have this cool thing where we do called the virtual cook party. And so what we do at the virtual cook party is have team members, all be in their kitchen, and then we all cook a particular meal. So we have one team member leading, and then we cook a particular meal. So we've had several cook parties, but we never really had a recipe book for all the recipes that we prepared during the cook party. So one intern took it upon herself as a project to create a place where you can go to see all the recipes that we've created during our virtual cook party. So an intern created the Mad cookbook.
And I just want to say beautiful as well, Doreen, that it's a multicultural experience, because we typically pick a dish that is local to whatever geographic area we're in. So not only do interns get to join when we do that, but they're also, again, learning how to interact with people from all over the world. One really interesting thing about our cook parties is that we actually have to check with everyone to make sure that the ingredients are available, because a lot of things aren't. So it's good for them to see that perspective and realize just, kind of how different things are around the world. So they're getting a connection with the team, and they're learning from us in a more social way, while also, recognizing that there's a big multicultural aspect, and you have to learn things like that when you're in a real job.
Right. And the cook party is a big thing for us because, like I said, we're a virtual team, right? And so we don't meet in person. So this is another way for us to socialize and get students out of the working space to a social space where they can also, feel free to share their views and, share in our team spirit, in this way. And so it's a beautiful thing for us to have and to do. So we're so glad that a student was able to create this cookbook for us, and it's building up on it. We also had a student who was interested in data and analytics. And so this student helped us come up with, data points for Madeline. Alexander, I think your screen went off. But so that's also one cool thing that students also did. So depending on what you're interested in, we always find, different projects on the team for you to work with, because even though we're an edtech company, you have to remember that there are different parts of the company that make up the company. So we have the marketing side, there's the development side, which is the coding side. So of course we've had students do coding as well, but then there's other parts of the business, like the data analytics part and all these other parts that students can be interested in. So we had one student also create a poster, a very cool internship poster, which is now being shared across the country in different schools, about how you can quickly apply for an internship with MadLearn, and how what the internship is about and what students have to say about the internship. So this something else a student created. Alexander, you want to add a little bit to that?
Yeah, this is actually a student who happened to be, so our team, like we said, is all over the world, but I happen to be based in Atlanta, and this was an Atlanta intern. And our CEO and founder is based in Atlanta as well. So we were able to go to her middle school and surprise her with this. We told her while she was working on it that if she really put in the time and made the edits that we suggested and really finessed it and came up with something that she had worked hard on, we would go ahead and print it. So we were able to print a multitude of posters that we will now take to conferences and things like that. And we had a really nice time going to her school to surprise her. She's a middle schooler, so we take middle and high school students. And I don't know how many of you have had experience with middle school kids, but walking into a middle school classroom, when they weren't expecting you, she was just completely shocked and stunned, but also really excited. And I think it made her feel really special that she had gotten to create something that we're actually using and, distributing around the country and world. So these students it builds their confidence in a lot of ways, in addition to giving them genuine artifacts and things that they can use in a portfolio.
Right. And also, like Alexandra mentioned, we know that middle schoolers do not often get the opportunity to intern, and that's one thing that teachers are very happy about, that their middle schoolers had the opportunity to intern with us, because it's very hard. Usually, organizations and companies would give high schoolers the chance to intern, but may not give middle schoolers a chance. But we do. And we've had middle schoolers do amazing, like I said, amazing work with us, and it's all real work. As you can see, every task that we give students to work on, we actually use in our product somehow. So we're not just letting them work on things that we will not use. And of course, you're working in a virtual internship, and so you're not going to be making coffee for anybody or making photocopies for anybody. You're actually doing work that is really used in our product. We had another student with the illustration on the right. Another student created a new slide decks for our presentation. So we've had slide decks that we've been using over the years, and one intern said, why don't I build slide decks, new revamped slide decks that you can actually use? And this is something we've never even had in our company before, slide decks that look like a phone, even though we teach students how. So we thought it was very creative for the students to come up with these slide decks for us to be using.
And I'll just say also, just going back to having middle school students, if you are reaching out to companies and suggesting that, hey, we have students that would love to internship with you, would you consider offering a virtual internship program? You might think middle schoolers can't handle it. We had one of the students who interned this summer with us. We met at the Congressional App Challenge, and he coded a resume app that was so impressive that our curriculum team met with him, because we couldn't figure out how he had used our program for that coding, because it was that in depth. So we had a 7th grader teaching us how to do the code that he created, just to give you an idea of how capable those students are and how much they really grow. And it builds up their confidence when they're starting an internship at an earlier age and have that opportunity. So don't be afraid to pitch to other companies and community stakeholders that, hey, it's worth considering middle school students as well.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. And these are more examples. So we've had students create students who are interested in design and who are so creative. Think about what kinds of posts and social media posts we can actually do and post on social media. So this is another design that a student created, 5 reasons to use MathLearn. And so what they do is they don't just design, they actually do research behind this. So what we do when students join our team is we make them first use our product, experience the product. So usually students who intern with us are students who have some knowledge of MathLearn. But once they join, we actually give them the opportunity to even explore more, understand the product even more. And so we make them create resume apps. So create an app, you have a resume. Why don't you put it in the form of an app and then explore all the other elements in MathLearn, because you'll be working with the product in some way. And so after you've used the product, tell us why do you think other students should use it too? And that's how come the students came up with 5 reasons to use MathLearn. And there's also when it was back to school season, when back to school season just started, as we had a student create different posts about back to school to encourage both students and teachers to enjoy the school year. So these are things that we do. And even though we give students projects to work on, we also give them the flexibility to be able to come up with projects by themselves. Tell us what you think we're missing in a team. What can you add onto the team? What kinds of things? Because we make students think a lot. What kinds of projects you think that will benefit the team? What kinds of things can you work on that will be great for others to see? And so these are the kinds of things that we give students the flexibility and the freedom to also explore and work on.
And I just want to say too that these types of projects, they span multiple departments. So this student worked with our graphic designer to come up with the design. They worked with the customer success team to come up and work on content. They worked with social media and marketing. So they're getting a little bit of experience in each of these departments and what they all do. So they're really building quite a lot of like life experience by creating something as simple as a poster that doesn't seem like it's a lot, but they had to work with a lot of different people and interact with a lot of different departments just to create this.
Right. And so these are more, and like I said, whatever you students work on actually are in our product. So when you log into Madlearn, these are some of the designs that you'll see. And these designs are really dear to my heart. This was a student who joined our team not knowing what she'll be doing because she was a bit lost. She said, well, I'm interested in, all I do is draw. All I do is art. And that's all I'm interested in. How am I going to incorporate art into an edtech company? I don't think I have a use in an edtech company because I do art and that's all I create. So, well, we said, well, we will get you work in an edtech company, even though it's art you're interested in. And so we were designing what Madeleine at the time was coming up with a new product, right? And so we needed like new avatars and designs for the new Madeleine. And then we said, why don't you create these illustrations and avatars and these designs for us to use, because she does, like, she used to do pencil drawings, but we said, well, we can teach you how to do it digitally and then you can create those for us. So she worked with our head designer to come up with these beautiful designs that when you log into Madeleine today, you will see in the product. And the beautiful thing about it is that once we always give students credit for the work that they do. So you notice that on social media, if we post a student's work on social media, we'll also give the student credit, let you know that it was a student who created that. And so once this was live on our program in our platform, we also sent the student a link to be able to see what her designs come to life. So basically somebody who was interested in art, who thought she would not be able to work in an edtech company, got the experience of working in an edtech company and doing real work for us. And she always talks about it. She's always excited that she got that opportunity. And right now, if you ask her, she will tell you that, well, now I know that I can work anywhere, even though I do art and I don't only have to work in an art gallery. Not to say that working in an art gallery is bad, but just expanding your view on where you can work and that you're not limited to, set a certain box. And so this was created by a student who was interested in art.
These are also some of her art
yes.
as well. These are the avatars she created,
Mm-hmm.
which are just fun and they're adorable when you log in.
So when you log in, you're able to choose these avatars once you log into the Madeleine platform as your profile picture, and she created these as well. So most of the things the work that you see on our platform or on social media, and even our blogs, and which you will see in a bit, are also students contribute to those as well, and we guide them throughout the whole process. So you have the design team; they are not working in isolation. They have the design team work with them. They have the marketing team working with them. They have pointers and things like that. So they are never left to work alone. And the students who either work on individual projects or work in teams, depending on what kinds of projects they are working on. And like we said earlier, we align you to your interests, right? So we let you work on things that you're interested in. We find projects that are aligned with your interests and then let you work on those. However, I always tell my interns as well to keep an open mind, because once you join the team, you might think you're interested in something, and then as you go along and you join our team meetings, you might realize other aspects of the business that you'd want to explore. And so I keep telling students to also keep an open mind to trying new things and learning new skills as they intern with us. And this is the student who was interested in coding. So this student created these moving. So these pictures actually on the Madeleine platform move. So you have like moving parts of this. And one student created, because he's interested in coding. So like I mentioned, there are different parts of the business. So you also get to work on coding projects if that's what you're interested in. So this student worked on, the animated parts of these images. So once you go on the platform and you log in, you see that these images are actually animated, and it was actually coded in by a student intern who was interested in code. And I mentioned that this is more, we just want to show you a variety of, examples of the vast variety of examples of kinds of tasks that students work on. This is also the one on the left is a student who was really interested in event planning, and you'd wonder how students who is interested in event planning will fit into an edtech company. She told us she was interested in event planning. We said the projects on the team that you can actually work on. So this student actually researched into an event for students, so an app events for students, and did her research, pitched it to the team, and planned it all out, and actually executed it really well. So what we did at Madeline was give her sponsor have the students use our platform for the event. So we sponsored, we gave our platform as a sponsorship for the event, whilst the students planned out everything. So they planned out the event and how it was going to unfold, and then pitched it to the team, and then we approved it, and then it went on. So there's somebody who's interested in event planning. We also have students who are interested in writing, who have done amazing work writing for our blogs. I'm telling you, you'll be amazed at the kinds of writing students. So we just have to do just very little or no editing at all to some of these writings that they've done. So students write blogs for us. They do all sorts of research concerning the kinds of blogs, titles of blogs that we'll need in our team, and they actually write for the team as well. They've also helped in our newsletters. It also helped write different parts of our newsletters also for us. So students who are interested in writing also have like a part to play in the Madeline team. Alexandra, you want to add something to that?
Oh, one of our interns was actually the editor of his high school newspaper. And also kind of where do I fit in a tech company? And he ended up writing a bunch of articles for us that were phenomenal. He edited articles. He was amazing at it. Coming in from a writing background, which is not necessarily what you think of at an ed tech company. But again, the point being, there's skills in every company, no matter what kind of company it is or what industry it's in, that students can gain from being part of that team. So what we were hoping that you all would get the chance to see how we've structured our internship program, but also what you can do from here to not create your own necessarily, but how you can partner with people and businesses and companies. We wanted you to kind of think this through and answer in the chat. Is there anyone that you can think of that you could reach out to that might be interested in taking your students as interns? Is there a company? Is there a business? Is there a, PTA parent that runs? I had parents when I was a teacher that ran a film company. Is there somebody that you know of that might be willing to consider taking on student interns in a virtual setting, and you could help them structure a program similar to what we have? Because it's really, it is a lot of work that Doreen does, but it's also something that is manageable and sustainable. So if you have any ideas, go ahead and put them in the chat, and questions as well if you have anything. Or any questions about anything we talked about or went over, or how we've structured things. If you had questions or follow up on that, feel free to put that in the chat as well. Does not look like there's a lot of questions or comments. That's okay. Mainly thinking about, we wanted you all to think about, here's something. Yes, we do have internship students can apply for. So when the next slide, you can scan the QR code that takes you to this slide deck. That also has our internship application. So we accept middle and high school students. And Doreen, correct me if I'm wrong, but throughout the year, correct? I know
throughout the year. So
cycle, but
yes, and so this is why we're encouraging other organizations to also run an internship program like ours, because even though we would love to take as many students as possible. We are not such a big team, and so we can't take everyone. We have hundreds of applications coming in almost every like yearly, like several applications coming in yearly, and so we take applications on a rolling basis. So you'd have we take them in cohorts, right? And so at a time we can only take so much. So yes, we take interns, but then it's a rolling application. It's on a rolling application basis, and then we only take a group, a number of a certain number at a time. And so it's great that we're doing this, but we would love for other organizations and other companies to emulate what we're doing, so they can also take on other students as well. And so that's why we're encouraging you to speak to your local organizations in your community to see how this can also be replicated in other communities. But yes, we do take students.
And
on a rolling basis.
I just put this slide up in case you want to scan this right now. That'll give you access to all our slides, which includes the internship application and the video that you did not get to hear, unfortunately. To answer Eric's question, are these paid internships? They are not paid. However, they do get a lot of genuine experience, and they get real artifacts that they're using in portfolios. So it's not a paid internship, but it's also very flexible. They can intern for a month if they want to. They can intern for 6 months if they want to. So they're not necessarily tied to a specific timeline. So if they want the experience and to see what it's like, they can do it for the minimum is a month, but they can do it for a short-term period to see if it's something they're interested in.
Right. And another thing is, even though it's not a paid internship, we also give them certificates at the end of the internship. And sometimes we also give them, depending on the kinds of work they do with us and how hard they work, we also give them stipends to say thank you to them for interning with us. So different kinds of gifts that we send their way to say thank you. But no, it's not a paid internship, but then they get certificates at the end of the day for interning with us at Mattern.
And Joshua, your question about security-oriented interests, I don't know. I assume you're talking about like cybersecurity or things like that, or something in IT related to that. Is that okay? I don't know. Doreen, you'll have to answer this. I don't know that we've ever had someone apply that's interested in cybersecurity or IT.
No, we haven't. We haven't had someone who is specifically interested in cybersecurity, but I would love to have a chat with whoever it is to find out more. Because sometimes they say cybersecurity, but you never know what other interests come out as we interview with them. So I tell students all the time, no matter what you're interested in, just apply. There's no harm in applying and going for an interview, right? You never know what comes out from the interview. So we've never had a student. Actually, it'll be interesting to talk to a student who's interested in cybersecurity and see the kinds of projects that they have worked on before, or they would like to work on, or things like that. So no, we've never had a student who has interned with us with an interest of the sort, but I'd love to talk to them. It's always interesting to interview students and see the kinds of interests they have and how we can help them. So our main goal is to see how we can help students thrive and do better and prepare for future skills. And I tell students all the time, you might not be doing cybersecurity work, but even giving reports on a team is a big deal, right? That's like building your confidence. You'd have to do it when you get into the real world somehow. And so things like that always help students. So I'd love to talk to a student to see how we can help them.
I'm glad to hear that there's so much interest. So I want to make sure everybody gets this slide, and I want to make sure that everybody has our contact information. Primarily Doreen, she is the guru of our internship program, but you can definitely reach out to either one of us if you have any questions or want to follow up or want more information on how your students can apply.
Correct. We currently have 4 interns. We're also looking at reviewing internships applications for early next year as well. And so, like I mentioned, even though we have a group of interns currently interning with us for the fall, we always, look through applications and, prepare ahead. So we're also, preparing our cohort for 2024.
Any other questions? glad there's a lot of interest. And I can actually go back and just make sure everybody also got this slide, just so you have access to the slide decks, which has our application, our contact information, everything. So I want to put that back up one more time in case you needed to scan that. All right. Well, thank you all for coming. Thank you for your time. Apologies again for the technical glitches. It always seems to happen during something that is tech related. It's my personal Murphy's Law. Thank you guys for being here. And Doreen, thank you. And if there's no more questions, enjoy your next session.
We'll be here if you have any questions
Yes.
that you want to ask us. We'll still be in the room waiting on any other questions that will come in as and when. But we're so glad you could join us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.